Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial, the Martin Houston Radio Network on Facebook and YouTube at Martin Houston Live, at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. It's a beautiful Monday morning. This is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Of course, we have our typical Monday schedule set up with a little good, bad, ugly. We also have our Pink Slip Monday. I'm sure we'll be hearing from Mr. Curtis Lewis here in a few moments. Who won the weekend? And the therapy line is open. 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One Therapy Hotline, 205-342-9904. Open for business if you need to call up, vent a little bit, just be consoled a little bit, be comforted a little bit, or just still show some love and support for your Alabama Crimson Tide as the Alabama Crimson Tide fell to the Volunteers 52-49 on the third Saturday in October in Knoxville. But in typical Tennessee fashion, still trying to verify if it's true. But it appears that the Tennessee Volunteers are in trouble. If they need money to help pay for their goalposts and soliciting that from the fans, they ain't going to have enough money to pay that coach they got on that sideline. And that may be a good thing. But seriously, welcome into the Martin Houston Show. Martin and Xavier, excited to get things rolling this morning. Alabama came up just a little short. Interesting things from that game. Just a couple things. Be bringing X in here. Like I said, we got good, bad, ugly, pink slip, and all those things. Before we get into that, I want to remind you that this is the week of the Mississippi State game. Be celebrating the 30th anniversary of the 1992 National Championship team. So big week for myself and others as we head down toward Saturday's game. Alabama also going to need to lick some wounds and get right and hopefully have a chance to redeem themselves on Saturday because all of their goals are ahead of them. Also, before we get into football, Deontay Wilder wins again, back in the picture as the world championship, heavyweight championship of the world. Is it possible for him to get back there? Well, looks like he still has that powerful right hand as he, on his third punch, I think, of the night, or landed punch of the night, knocks out his opponent and wins up in New York. So kudos to Tuscaloosa native, former heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay Wilder. Good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
As I can, I guess, after Saturday.
So, Joe was telling me, I think that GoFundMe takes you into a link for general donations. So I guess they are taking up money in general. So very, very interesting situation. Just initial thoughts on the game Saturday.
Where to start? Alabama is their own worst enemy. I think is the best way to put it. And those looks like those teams or those defensive rankings Might have been a little what's the word? Faux pas, as some people would say, with the teams that Alabama had played after what we saw them do against the number one offense in the country. But yeah, just not Alabama standard at all.
Yeah, very, very interesting. It's if you look at it, we had moments where defense, played well, but they had one thing they could go back to, and when they went back to it, it was there. Um,
5
and
times.
Speaking of that, what did we had several things that worked, but we don't know how to go back to ours. Our once again, our OC does not know how to call a game. I want somebody to call up here today and defend Bill O'Brien. You're welcome. Phone lines are open. Speaking of those phone lines,
Somebody will, because we scored 49 points. But you got to look at where those 49 points were scored and the absolutely terrible clock management at the end of the game. And you know what? I don't put that all on O'Brien. I put that on Nick Saban's shoulders as well.
Oh, I mean, he's the head coach. He let it happen. But we lost that game because Gibbs didn't make that catch, Sammy. And Xavier, don't get confused now. No, don't get confused. I heard the greatest coach in the land say that, hey, Gibbs dropped that ball. That's all I'm gonna. That's what happened. All right, Gibbs dropped the ball on second down. That's why we lost. Had nothing to do with the other stuff. The poor clock management and the poor defensive strategy that we used with 15 seconds to go. Had nothing to do with that. All right, let's go to Robert. Robert from Mobile, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. We got a lot of callers to get in today, so guys, I'm going to move you along pretty quick. What's up, man? What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, man. I just tell you one thing, though. I'm the biggest Tennessee fan for the rest of the regular season. I want them to make it to the SEC championship game. I think Alabama's going to learn from this and lights out for the rest of the season. This is a far less Bill O'Brien's problem loss as it is, because this piece golden. The defense lost this game. I mean, I started 49 points. You scored 49 points. That 10 times out of Alabama should win games like that.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. As bad as defense played, going after the first half, what happened? They gave up 21 points until they gave up 21 points, and it was 49-49. Okay? Last week, no one blamed the defense for almost losing the game. It doesn't matter how close the score is. You should win. We keep saying that. When LSU scored all of their points, we said, well, defense gave up this many points. Well, offense should have scored more. It's a team game. And the team was tied up at the end of the game, Robert. End of the game. How can we not say it's on Bill O'Brien? How can we still? I don't care that they gave up 49 points.
I'm not going to say it's on the offense when they give me 49 points. I'm just not going to. Now, could the offense have made more plays and made it 63? Yeah, but
no, they could have made it 52.
Hold on. You want me to go quick? I got to talk. Here's the thing. I saw 2 touchdowns Tennessee could have had over there, and he just overthrew it. That was the defense didn't do anything to stop that. We can say he can play the same game. Well, hey, our quarterback don't know if to throw that wide open man. You get 14 more points.
Hey, Robert, all of those are
screwed up, and they lost that game. Now, I agree with you guys on the last play, the last 30 seconds. Come on, guys. Now, that was offense. That was Bill O'Brien, and Xavier rightly pointed out that Bill O'Brien and Nick Saban. Tennessee shouldn't have no time left. And Will Reich is struggling on the right hash mark. All the play that makes sure he ends up on the left hash mark.
Right. Or in the middle of the field. Or just run. Gibbs could have broke one. You give Gibbs a chance with the ball in his hand. And I understand they call the pass play to Gibbs, but as Coach Bryant used to say, three things happen when you throw the ball, and two of them are bad.
And even Gary Danielson, who we all are a fan of, even he circled that two timeout with 30 seconds and said, hey, you can run the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You sure can.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that as much as Bill O'Brien. But other than some of the boneheaded calls, which again, you shouldn't be getting 49 points. My defense should be allowed 52. And it could have been more at Tennessee executing all what they had. So
we could have had more. I guess my point is every once in a while, one of the other sides has to get the other side's back.
49, then you got that back. The 49, I mean, it wasn't 29, it was 49. The offense had the defense back. Come on, defense. I can't need 63 to win the game. I can get the 49, and you still can't keep them under 49. And as I pointed out, they could have had more.
Yeah. Well, Robert, remember 2020 against Ole Miss? They scored 48.
Yeah.
We needed 63.
And we were fussing at the defense for that, too. I mean, you just can't expect your offense to do that. My defense shouldn't be expecting for them, I expect it. But they shouldn't be playing so bad that that's what my offense has to do. And we all rag the defense for that game. And we know because that's on call. Because come on, guys, I don't care if we won. You can't do that.
I understand you can't do it, but when you play the game and it comes down to it, as bad as they are, Robert. Yes, defense put us in a position to absolutely lose. But when all of that was said and done, when it was all said and done, we had the ball with a chance to win. I don't care if it's 3-0, 3-3, 20-20, 49-49. You have the ball at the end of the game with the best player to ever play college football. I don't know if there's ever been anybody better than the guy you had playing at that moment. I think Bryce Young may be the best player to ever play college football. That guy.
I totally think he's the best Alabama quarterback, and I can see your argument for the best of all time. And that's what's really bugging me is we're not going to win a championship. If we have a risk of not winning a championship with this guy, it just baffles my mind.
Yeah. Hey, I got to let you go, man. I thought y'all would be quick, but I let you go for a while. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate you, man. All right. Hey, so we don't have to rush the other caller. We'll just come back out of the break on the other side. So callers, stay tuned, stay on. We'll get you in. Hey, listen, it was a team loss. Yes, defense played bad. Offense played bad at moments. Special teams messed up. We had 150,000 penalties. But the reality of it is, with all of that said and done, both sides of the ball in the last 30 seconds of the game could have done something to win that game. Offense could have done something to ensure that we won or went to overtime. Defense could have done something to keep them off the board. Both teams. And who does it all reside with? We got the greatest coach in the land. Virgil Williamson, I put this loss on Saban. He's the ultimate decision maker. It was his babies getting torched all night long. Rocky Top rolled over the over the Alabama Crimson Tide, 52-49. But what a difference a couple seconds makes. We'll talk more about it right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. That conversation up next.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Everything looking pretty good. Now, we do see some stop-and-go traffic on McFarland. This is all eastbound as traffic comes in from West Tuscaloosa County. If you see other conditions, give me a call. Townsend Nissan is having a special sale today with super markdowns and extra cash for your trade. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
Just up and get the core.
At Misty's gym, Booth gets pretty close to the real thing. She wants to spot a personal trainer with a military background.
I can cover this week's boot camp, but we need someone stat. Is it your cousin a Marine?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens Find Direct's coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th. Find a plan that's right for you at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The weather noticeably cooler today. The chance of a few isolated morning showers. Otherwise, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, the high 67. Tonight, the coldest night so far this season. Clear with the low at 34. Tomorrow, a sunny and very cool day, the high 53. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 61 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophmark Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmarkdesign.com.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, the Alabama One Therapy Hotline is open this morning, 205-342-9904. Man, you have to say, what's up with Road Bama? Is there such thing as Road Bama? Why is it that this Alabama Crimson Tide over the last 2 years has struggled so mightily in road games? I think Bear on ESPN said that before the game yesterday, in the previous 49 games, Alabama had two, I think, 1 point scores on the road or something. And in the last 2 years, 8 out of 9, I think, had been 1 point scores. So we're not winning on the road by much. And when you have an offensive juggernaut, you better tighten it up. Well, we didn't. And we walked out. Wow. As what the preseason was predicted to be Nick Saban's best team potentially, offensively and defensively, and at least the best he's had in a while. Is it the players and the talent not there? Is it coaching? Is it that the other teams have came up? Is it that the Crimson Tide has gone down? I don't know what it is. But I know our next caller wants to get rid of some folks. It's Pink Slip Monday with Mr. Curtis Lewis. Curtis, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Hand out your pink slips, man.
Martin and Xavier, it is time. It's time to get rid of some fools. First one going out that door, Saban, you are the GOAT, but you are not the GAT. You are the greatest of all time, but you are not the greatest at this time.
You're
Uh-oh.
fired. You are fired. And Bill O'Brien, you are fired with him. Pete Golden, you are slapped 3 times and fired. That play calling you put out there, especially at the end of the game, you going in the prevent. They do not need a touchdown. They just need a field goal. Why are we in prevent rushing 3 guys? All game long, you got your best pass rushers in the game, supposedly. They in coverage. Who are they covering? Put them guys' hands on the dirt and go get that quarterback. This is not rocket science. Terrion Arnold, we understand you're out there just like a little blind monkey, but good gracious, man. If you can't give him some coverage over the top, give him some help, Terrion Arnold, you are fired. Because you should have raised your hand and said, hey, I can't cover this guy. I can't cover him by myself. Get me some help. Go over there and slap Pete Golden and tell him, if you don't put somebody over the top, just leave me over on the side. Put Eli Ricks, just like on Remember the Titans. He should have went over there and got Petey. Get Petey to cover that guy because you can't cover him. Get Eli Ricks off that bench. What are we doing here? And again, yes, I understand that Jamal Gibbs dropped that ball on that pass play, but he shouldn't have been trying to catch it in the beginning. They should have been running that ball the entire time. 3 straight runs and get him in the middle of the field. You didn't need yards. You need to eat clock. Get him in the middle of the field and give that man a better chance at kicking that field goal. Don't put him on the right hash. Everybody knows he is not at his best from the right hash mark. But yet we keep putting him over there time and time again. And Saban, for the love of all that is holy, put a headset on. There's no reason for you to get up here at the end of the game. I don't know why we was in that defense, or I don't know why we didn't run that ball. You're the head coach. These calls should be going through your ears before they even get to the players out there. You got the authority to veto that call and make it something else. But don't get at the end of the game talking about, well, I'm not sure what was going, why we got in that in the free period. We played too soft of a defense. Well, I'm sorry, but last time we checked, it said Nick Saban, head coach of the University of Alabama. Not I'm sitting over here with the best seat in the house to watch this game at the University of Alabama. So, yeah, there's a lot of guys that got to get fired. And that our front seven was as non-existent as Casper. And we need to just go ahead and just call all of them. Hey, y'all just the Casper front seven. Because y'all just disappeared in that game. You disappeared. A lot of it because of the defensive sets you were put in. But you still disappeared. It just makes no sense. No sense at all.
Okay. I'm sure we'll talk more this week, but Peak Slip Monday, I knew it was coming today, so I can't disagree with any of those. X, you got anything? Thanks, Curtis. Appreciate you, man.
And
No,
I
not
love
at all.
your broadcast. Love your broadcast Friday night, Martin. You did a great job on the Alexandria game. Great job.
Oh, thank you, man. That was an honor, Curtis. They literally called me on Thursday. For those who don't know, I called the high school football game on the Friday Night Rivals and had a great time. Didn't have a whole lot of time or information on how to do it. Just kind of had to work into the flow, but enjoyed it a lot. And thanks for those kind words, Curtis.
Enjoyed it. Martin, y'all have a good day.
You too. Thank you, sir. X, you have anything before we get to Cole?
No, I mean, I agree 100% with Curtis on all of those decisions. And it's funny that he made the Remember the Titans reference for Arnold because he struggled. And I wrote an article yesterday that you can see about the money in the star positions that people might need to check out and how that position has evolved from when it was first incepted back in 2015 to now. And I think that's a big reason why we're having struggles in our pass defense. But we can talk about that at another time.
Yeah, definitely. And if you want to check it out before we get to it, you can go to tide109.com and check out that article by Xavier as well as articles by all of the other great team members at Tide 109. Cole Lucas, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. What's on your mind, sir?
What a great call by Curtis. He just laid it on the line. I know what happened. 17 penalties for 130 yards was what cost us the Alabama game.
That was definitely part of it, Cole.
Those referees were terrible, and Helens and Arnold. Where the heck is Malachi Moore, Jordan Battle, and Eli Riggs? Why are they not playing defensive back?
Well,
Moore and Battle, I'll say.
Moore and Battle were out there. Moore got torched, but to me, is Jackson hurt? Joe, do you all know?
No, he played. He played on special teams.
So I can't understand the Rick's absence, or Kyrie Jackson was playing. Riggs hasn't really played, okay? But Jackson was playing at one point. But you have to make a change or try something. Cole, I don't even know what to tell you. I like Arnold, but man, he is. And it's not meant to be ugly. Simeon said watching him play is like a person who's bipolar.
Nothing.
Do what?
They can't do anything. I don't know who's worse, Arnold or Helens. I mean, they're both bad as it gets.
Well, let me say this about Helms. Helms, I put that on the coaches. Helm is not a cover guy. I put that 100%. Helm was put on a receiver that Helm and you and I and everybody in America know he can't cover. So cover that type of receiver. And so Heupel literally found it. He already had schemed it. These coaches, you can't tell me, guys, that these coaches aren't getting together and saying, this is how you attack Alabama. That play, that guy caught the touchdown on 4 of his 5 touchdowns, I think, were on the same formation with little different route combinations. But what they knew is whether it was Helms or Malachi Moore, they knew that they were going to get a safety type hybrid player versus a true corner every time.
Can they swap Moore with Helens? Can Moore play that spot instead of
Moore
Helens?
got beat too. Moore got beat just as easily. That's what I'm telling you. That's not. You have to change your defense, Cole. You put 2 people over the top. You put 2 safeties over the top. Make them.
Why?
Okay. You have to take something away, Cole. You have to take something away.
They change it? Why don't they change it, man? Why don't they?
We're trying to figure out the same thing.
I don't know, Cole. You got anything else for us? I don't know, Cole. I can't. I wish I knew why they never changed it, but I don't know.
Can we get Charlie Strong as our deco after the season?
I don't know what we're gonna do. Thanks, Cole.
Good. Charlie Strong.
If he's listening, Cole's calling for you, Charlie.
Come on,
Thanks,
Charlie.
Cole. All right. Alan, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, we need to get rid of offense coordinator.
Alan, hold on. Is your truck back down in? I know you took it up to Tennessee.
Look, I was in Tennessee. I done brought it back. We done bagged it up. I got the people waiting. The only thing they need to do is give me the word. Matter of fact, I got 2 trucks. One of them for Pete Golden, too. We got 2 trucks waiting down there. Just waiting. Full of fuel right now. That was ridiculous. That was simply ridiculous. I'm good friend with one of the former players that you will see this weekend, and he's been telling me for the last 2 years. He said our middle of the defense, they're wide open. The middle of the defense, every time they throw a pass, the middle of the field is wide open, and it's been wide open. He said it's been wide open for 2 years, and he played defensive back in the pros for about 7 or 8 years, and he knows what he's talking about. The second thing is we were predictable on offense. When we got the ball, we ran the ball first. Then on second down, we threw the ball. Ran the ball, second down, we threw the ball. Change it up. It don't take rocket scientists. Change it up. And then on the last
Alan,
yes, sir.
Alan, let me ask you this. Did you see us run the toss sweep in the game early?
Do we have one?
We did. We actually ran a toss sweep. I said, okay. Now, this is what I heard. Now, listen to this.
Okay.
In the normal pass install segment of Alabama's practice, we put in all of these new run designs. Okay, because we were like, we got to get Gibbs the ball, and supposedly, I guess, we're going to take some burden off of Bryce Young, and he throws about 52 times. But one for every point, I guess, defense gave up. But anyway, when you look at it, we ran the toss sweep. This guy, let me tell you what Gibbs brings to the table, Alan. He brings the ability to stretch a defense, plant his foot, and cut and go. You know what the toss sweep does for a running back? It gives him the ability to see a cutback all the way back to what Saban refers to the B gap. Because when he tosses it, if they all run out and the lineman cut a guy off, he can take the B gap, the C gap, or the outside gap, or he can stretch it all the way to the sideline because of his speed. We did it. I said, okay, hey, yes, they understand. Get this guy in space. We ran it one time.
And why not mix it up? What I was saying is that don't do it all on first down. You got second down, run the ball. Throw the ball every once in a while on first down. I mean, don't let them get predictable on you where you know what you're going to do every single time. And, and I'm going to tell you one more thing I believe. I honestly believe that our coaching carousel has caught up with us. I mean, we're constantly changing coaches. The coaches can't get to know each other because we're constantly changing them. Year in and year out, they're constantly changing, except these two idiots that we got down there now, and we can't change them because nobody wants them. Every year, people are calling for Alabama coaches. Ain't nobody calling for Pete Golden. Ain't nobody calling for O'Brien, except Nebraska. And I hope I get to take his truck. I used to take my truck up there and unload him this weekend or whenever they want him. I got it. Just let me know. It's free. And just let me know, and I'll take him up there. But we're getting predictable, and nobody's afraid of us at all anymore. Nobody's afraid of our defense. Nobody's afraid of our offense. And they're going. And poor Bryce Young, I think he's the best that we've ever had. And he may not win a championship because of those two idiots that we have out there as coordinators. But once again, that all falls back on the head coach.
All right. That's Alan. You bringing it. So, hey, we'll respond to Alan. We'll get Todd and Pat in on the other side. It's the Monday morning therapeutic show. The Alabama One Therapeutic Hotline is open, 205-342-9904. Sometimes it's cathartic just to let it all out, and Alan just did. You can do likewise right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Coming back on the other side, we'll continue that conversation. Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama One, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and all-time leading rusher with exciting news.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, Emmitt Smith wants to introduce you to QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in biologic treatment for pain. I'm talking regenerative solutions that encourage your body to heal and repair itself. No medications, no surgeries, no downtime.
If you have pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, don't assume the old treatments are the only treatments. Learn more about how you can get lasting relief with biologic treatments that can repair and restore damaged tissue.
Call to learn more about this exciting natural way to deal with chronic joint pain. Play golf without pain, walk upstairs without pain, play with your kids and grandkids without pain, get back on your job without pain, live your life pain-free. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 205-686-1941. That's 205-686-1941. 205-686-1941.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our Pep Talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
More cash for your car, more buck for your truck. That's Alabama One. Alabama One auto vehicle promotion going on to the end of the month. 60 days, no cash payment. No payment. 60 days and up to $250 cash back in your pocket. Bring it over on a refi, get a brand new one. Whatever you're looking for, we can help you. And if you happen to be in the market for one of those big F-250s or one of those trucks that you need to lower your payment, we can go up to 96 months on certain vehicles and up to 84 months on used vehicles. So we can help you get a lower payment and also terms as low as 1.99 if you qualify. Check out Alabama One branch locations, 18 around the state to serve you, or our virtual branch location, which you can access at alabama1.org. All right. Jamie McKee said you would need an 8-hour show for all my questions. We were penalized 17 times for 130 yards, and Tennessee only 6 for 39. That's questionable in terms of that disparity. But we have played 7 games. Listen to 7 games and have been penalized for a total of 565 yards so far. And we still have 5 games left. Is the process broken? Is the process broken? That's a question to ask. Let's see what Todd has to say. Todd, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Todd 100.9. The Alabama One Hotline welcomes you in. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, gentlemen. Yeah, just heart's just broken today. You know, the good to me is Bryce Young. Man, the young man, he looked healthy. He looked 100%, and I believe that he performed, to his best of his ability. So, love that young man. He did a great job.
Hey, Todd, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did it ever cross your mind that this young man has just won his second Heisman, and then we lost the game? I think whichever quarterback won that game was going to come out the leader. Because what Bryce Young did, it showed you he probably gained street cred in the in the win against Texas A&M by not playing, and he was not 100% healthy. He grimaced several times, and even after he got hurt and hit at the goal line, he just kept battling. He couldn't do any more damage to it because it was more muscle soreness, but he was in pain by the end of that game. But just his ability to be calm in the midst of the storm, his personality was the same when we were down, when we came back, when we needed to drive. And then even when they showed him on the sideline, his demeanor was the same as they hit that field goal. So a special kid, and I am convinced he's the best player to ever play college football. People can argue with me.
Yes, sir.
But, I'm convinced.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. He's he's a grown man out there amongst boys out there, man. And but my ugly is the penalties. Almost Alabama's almost the most penalized team in the country, and that right there, it has to be cleaned up. Being undisciplined, I'm not blaming it on the refs, not one bit. We just got to play a cleaner game, and clean those penalties, these mental errors. I said many shows ago about getting our mind right, man, and these boys got to get their minds right, man. I know everybody wants to fire all these people and hand all these pink slips out, but I have not heard not many people say who's the next man up. You know what I mean? You want to fire Saban? Well, you better put your big boy pants on and put me some names in the hat before you give that man a pink slip. And I know he makes mistakes just like us. And I'll tell you what, Martin, the ugly is Bama's like a fish in the ocean. The bleeding, got bit by Texas. The bleeding started at Texas, and then Texas A&M, man, they sniffed that blood, boy. And that King kid, he played over his head. I haven't seen, other than Bryce Young, a player over their head. Jameer Gibbs is the next man I really love, but the bleeding, really started Texas A&M. So Bama went up to Tennessee as a fish in water that had some major bleeding. And boy, I tell you what, Tennessee, they smelt that blood and they went after that blood. And man, that fish, man, who else smelling the blood right now? Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Ole Miss. These other teams, man, they're coming in, man. And Bama, boy, we got a lot of work to do, man. I mean, you start firing all these coaches in the middle of all this bleeding, with no other next man up coaches. Hey, let's don't jump off the ship yet. We got to patch these fish up. And man, stop the bleeding. Stop.
All right. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate you, man. All right. Let's stop the bleeding, Bama fan. All right. Thanks. Hey, that was Todd on the Alabama One Hotline. Stop the bleeding. In other words, the crimson is flowing just the wrong way. All right. Pat, you're in with the Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning. Good morning, X. And X, the only thing that I can say that was good about this game was that Alabama fans did not have to inhale any cigar smoke. And other than that, hey, can you get your daddy to please contact his prayer chain and start praying for McLean out of Florida to come to Alabama and take care of us, please. And I'm going to contact all my Baptist friends and get a prayer chain going, because without McLean, we're going to be in some serious trouble. What do you think?
I'm not. Everybody forgets how good Kool-Aid McKinstry has been, and honestly, how good Jordan Battle has been. Those two guys have been very good throughout the course of the season. It's everybody else. And when you look at the depth, I think we would be better served. I think Moore and Branch at the safety position, not in the slot, would be better cover guys than Helms. And then the question is, what's up with Eli Riggs? What's up with Kyrie Jackson? Maybe in Earl Little the second. He's a guy that's healthy now. I just don't know what's going on. So, yeah, I mean, getting Carmoni McLean would be great at the end of the day.
But he's a freshman?
I mean, there's a lot of talent on this team, and it's just not making sense why they're not playing well.
Well, and part of it had to do with the fact that we didn't get any pass rush for whatever reason that was. That I just can't understand it. This defense, we've been your daddy, the minister of defense, has been preaching, and I've been preaching all summer long how good they were going to be, and undoubtedly they took that to heart and just sat back and rested on their laurels for this ball game. What do y'all think?
Well, I don't think Pete Golden used his guys the way that they could be used. I mean, as we were talking with Curtis, you had Dallas Turner dropping back in coverage. You had Will Anderson out of the game at key points. So, I mean, it just doesn't make sense how they were being used, because these guys are deadly when you rush them as a unit. And did we see the cheetah package at all?
I don't know. I don't remember. But let me tell you, Tennessee, we got. Let's call it what it is. Hey, thanks, Pat. Got to get right. Thanks.
Yep.
Call back to me. Hey, the reality of it is, X. They ran it on every time that they threw a pass on first down and got an incomplete. On 2nd and 10, they ran the ball up the middle and got 5 to 10 yards, and we'll be right back in a normal situation. So I don't know. I don't know what it was. So much going on wrong in that game, but let's go ahead and get Jamal from Ohio on this side to break. Jamal, you're in with the Martin Hughes Show. Martin and Xavier on the Alabama One Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, Martin. Good morning, X. How y'all doing, man?
Good.
Man, where do you begin, man? But first off, man, you know, I was born in Huntsville, came to Ohio, so unfortunately, I'm surrounded by Ohio State fans, and I've been hearing it all weekend.
Yeah.
I've been hearing it all weekend. But real quick, I'm not gonna keep you guys long. Bryce Young proved why he's the best player in the country.
Yeah.
Hands down. If he wins that game, he has the Heisman locked up. I don't care what anybody says.
Yep, I agree.
If we win that game, I mean, he was getting pummeled. He was getting hit in the head. I still don't understand how they did not call roughing the passer or
targeting.
I still cannot fathom. I just don't understand it. And it's right in front of them.
Hey, Jamal, remember they did not know it was 4th down, so I'm not surprised.
Oh yeah, even that. Have you ever seen that in a college game? I've never seen. What is it? 5th and 2? I mean, I've never seen that. I've never seen that in a college game ever. But my question to you guys, seriously, what is Nick Saban becoming too passive? I mean, is it okay? I'm pretty sure he has a heads up of what defense about to play or what's going on. Does he not have the ability to say, no, we're about to do it this way? That's not working. I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah, he of course he didn't know what was going on. Well, you looked out there and saw what was going on. We had timeouts. We could have called the timeout and got the package. If we didn't start that last drive with the right defensive personnel, we could have called timeout, which I probably would have. And once I saw what they did, I would have called timeout and said, guys, we make one play here and the ball game's over.
One play. I mean, come on, Martin.
I mean, we go to overtime. Yeah.
We're within the 35-yard line of Tennessee. 30 seconds left on the game.
Yeah.
Run the ball. Make them run. Make them use their timeout. At least the worst that can happen is you're going to go to overtime if you miss the field goal. And
yep.
I just don't. I'm sitting here watching. I'm like, man, I'm just a fan, and I'm sitting here watching like I can call a better play than this. I mean, are you serious? You're throwing 3 passes in a row, and you're within the 35-yard line. What are you doing? I feel like Bill O'Brien said, no, man, I can't win this game. Let me just do something. I can't win it. I have to mess it up. I have to jeopardize it, man. And I feel like you can tell in Bryce Young, man, he was just disappointed. That was deflating, man. That's deflating as a football player, man. And I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm just saying one last thing, man. I think it will be a travesty if Bryce Young does not get a championship, man. Roll Tide.
Yeah. Roll Tide. And that's going to be maybe the greatest disappointment in Alabama football history if Bryce Young leaves under the Nick Saban era without one. Good from Virgil Williams. Bryce Young's game, bad. O'Brien's inability to actually call a game. Ugly. The same defensive players getting torched all night by the same guy, and Golding not switching the coverage. Then the atrocious, he gave us an atrocious, was the worst officiating of the century. Coming back on the other side, we'll have Bishop on the other side, and we'll put the finishing touches on this edition of the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks, everything looking pretty good. Now, we do see some stop-and-go traffic on McFarland. This is all eastbound as traffic comes in from West Tuscaloosa County. If you see other conditions, give me a call. Townsend Nissan is having a special sale today with super markdowns and extra cash for your trade. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Monday morning. A suspect is in custody after being accused of shooting a Hoover police officer yesterday. HPD officers responded to a shooting on I-459 North. That's where a motorist reported multiple shots fired at his car with no injuries. Officers later found a potential suspect at an apartment complex where he produced a weapon and began firing at officers, striking one multiple times. He received non-life-threatening wounds. The suspect also wounded when officers returned fire. I'm Don Hartley.
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly Auto Parts specializes in keeping your car on the road. Not sure how much life is left in your battery? Our professional parts people will test it for free. If it does need to be replaced, we'll help you find just the right one to fit your car. Our Superstar batteries are built to handle even the toughest conditions. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
With Taco Casa, it's not really fast food because it's made fresh every day in the store. The quality hasn't changed. The consistency hasn't changed because we haven't changed anything in the food. It's made fresh every morning in every restaurant. I think buzzwords in today's food industry are locally sourced and high quality ingredients. We want to say, that sounds great. We've been doing that since 1974. Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa.
It locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. CJ Watson saying good, Bryce Gibbs, bad preparation, drop passes, ugly secondary, special teams, and in all caps, penalty and focus. He went on to say Bryce's awareness was off the charts, impressive. His ability to dodge a defender that it seemed like he never saw made me think he already had those parental eyes in the back of his head. And you just hate to see such a gutsy performance end up in a loss. Jerome Edwards asking a question that all of us are asking. Put Ricks in the game. See what the guy can do. He was an All-American at LSU. And then Paul Patterson X responding to your statement about the cheetah package. He said, I believe Bama ran the cheetah package on the play where Helms got the interception. That would make sense. I mean, I'm just saying that's a possibility. Let's get to Bishop and then we'll wrap things up. Bishop, you got a couple minutes, man. I'll toss it to you on the Alabama One hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I'm calling for Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
I don't think I've seen many quarterbacks beat Alabama, but have you ever saw one beat them with that much ease and comfort? He did it. It looked like he was not stressed. I think Alabama misses, and I've said this from the beginning of the year, a player like Tim Williams. I'm a homer. And I think Tim Williams, I don't think he could have played for Pete Golding. To me, Tim Williams did what Mr. Will Anderson can't do. He made the back end better. He made the back end better. You want to know why he made it better? Because he got to the quarterback faster than anybody.
Yeah.
Why were your linemen not lifting their hands? If they couldn't get there to try to cover passing lanes, it was just too easy, Mr. Houston. It was just too easy.
Yeah, and listen, that he when they needed it, you just kind of put your head down and said, okay, what they gonna do here? And the sad part when we finally get a stop early in the game, when it was 21-7, and we finally get that stop, and then we proceed to it was 21-10 maybe 21-10, 21-7, can't remember, but
21-10.
Quindarius does the I'm gonna pick it up and score. I have no idea what that young man was thinking. So just all around. But you're right. Part of the question I asked last week was, will we have a Heisman Trophy player in that game. And we had three. Gibbs, I think, had they used him even more. I think Bryce Young, more than worthy. And had we won the game, the one play where he kept the play alive and ended up getting like the pass interference, even though it wasn't a complete, I said that he just won the Heisman if we win this game. But Hooker, clearly, I think the front runner, and it's his Heisman to lose.
Yeah, it was just too easy. And I also agree with you. I've been listening for the past few weeks. I'm also a pastor of 25 years, Brother Houston. Is that I believe an offensive play caller has to do what I call get into the flow. I use that term for preaching. You got to learn how to flow. Mm-hmm. You got to learn how to flow. And so I think Coach O'Brien is not in a flow. He ain't anointed to flow.
Bishop, I agree with you. Thank you, sir. Hey, and thanks for pointing out that we did not get the pressure we needed to help. But when you don't get pressure, you have to start getting your hands up, and we didn't adjust to that either. So good eyes on that, Bishop. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
All right. Wow. X, closing thoughts, man. We're going to be back tomorrow. We'll talk more good, bad, and ugly. We'll talk about how have we seen the evolution of college football to the point that Nick Saban is going to have to change his process? Is the way they call, pass, throw, penalties, throw the ball, is he going to have to make a change in those defensive backs, et cetera? Closing thoughts, X, real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough weekend. The offense made plays when they needed to. The defense didn't. But just as a whole, Alabama didn't play their best game, and you're talking about a school record, 17 penalties. The fact that we were even in that game with an opportunity to win it late just kind of shows you how special of a player Bryce Young is. And it really will be disappointing if we don't win the national championship with him as our starting quarterback with everything that he's brought to the university.
Yeah, and this was a crazy, crazy game. Played about as bad as you could play in some aspects, and yet we still had a chance to win. Are we ready to say the wheels are off, or is this a wake-up call? It's going to be one of the two. If this thing starts rolling down the hill and they don't stop it, it could be interesting, the mass exodus out of the Crimson Tide. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk more about Alabama football. We'll have DC join the conversation tomorrow. And, hey, listen, remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. Always acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide out there, everybody. Have a blessed day.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Tide 100.9.